Did you know that in Mass Effect 1, Udina and Anderson are waiting for you in the embassy after each mission and provide secret feedback? Did you know in 2 and 3, some squad mates can overpower others in conversations, meaning that if you want to hear the squad mate you like's feedback, you should consider who they are with. I can't believe I found a reason to recommend not bringing Garrus. Did you know that walking past random conversation strings can lead to huge points? In this video, we'll go through how not to miss some of the best and most hidden dialogue in Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Let's get right into it. First and foremost, Mass Effect 1 is filled with a lot of content you can miss simply by playing the game like a normal, non-obsessed fan. You're encouraged to visit and explore every single planet you can land on, as there is a lot of side content that comes about from doing so. After you do, visit the Citadel to see if situations have changed, as often as you can. Many of you know you should revisit at least 3 times to see Conrad Werner go through his journey, but you'll need to a lot more than that. I recommend doing some exploring before and after each mainline mission. Check into the human embassy to see both Anderson and Udina. They'll comment on your missions. So after getting to Normandy, try to tick off all the side content in your log, visit the Citadel, then hit up one of the main missions. Let's say you chose Feros. Finish Feros and immediately head back to the Citadel. When you check in with Anderson and Udina, they'll comment on your progress and the choices that you've made. I honestly played through the game over 10 times before I realized this was a feature. Yes, they do comment after each one.
Thank God the colony survived. We can't afford to have too many failures out in the Traverse.
Wait, why is it getting hot in here? It's Magic the Gathering's latest set, Tarkir Dragonstorm. There are tons of powerful flying nightmares to collect, but that's not all. There's varied cards and beautiful artwork across multiple factions which are all vying for dominance. Yes, you have powerful dragons, but you also have interesting spells, weapons, and even creatures like a lightning-powered storm turtle whose best friend is Spider-Man, but I'm getting ahead of myself. You have cards like Ugin, Eye of the Storms, which comes in multiple designs from Ghostfire Treatment to this reversible, serious, and cute version. Here's Shiko, Paragon of the Way, if you want a dragon monk leading the charge. This is the perfect time to get into Magic, as the set is both powerful and accessible. Besides the standard and collector's packs that help shore up your collection, there are 5 pre-constructed commander decks for you to choose from, all based on a faction and color combination. So be sure to check out Tarkir Dragonstorm, and thanks to Wizards of the Coast for sponsoring this video. Back to it. By visiting the Citadel, you'll also find missions that weren't unlocked before, Dr. Chloe's blackmail situation being one of them. If you don't visit her again early on in the game, you'll miss the chance to help her and miss out on her interactions in Mass Effect 3. You'll miss content if you don't check in, as some NPCs vanish forever. After particular missions like Vermeer, your ship will have non-crewmates aboard. Captain Kirahi, if he survived, and his crew will accompany you until next port, letting you chat and buy things you didn't before you set out to blow up the cloning facility. This happens again with a side mission, so keep an eye out. While you're in the Citadel, be sure to bring different combinations of crewmates with you and travel on all the elevators. I know it was heavily memed and they included jokes about the elevator rides as a meta thing in the following games, but I actually enjoyed hearing their banter. Each combination of crewmate have different banter in the elevator. This changes after major events, and there's a ton of it. I know it's easy to pick quick travel, but you'll see and hear things you haven't before if you don't. So ride the elevator often. That being said, keep an ear out for the news. This applies to all 3 games. After you complete missions, even side missions, the news will comment. In one mission, you're tasked with either helping or not helping an Alliance negotiator by getting him the stimulants, aka drugs, he needs. If you help him, the news will talk about how a ruthless Alliance rep made the aliens feel extorted, meaning that yes, he got the best deal.
Solarian officials are complaining that the Alliance made unreasonable demands in hardline negotiation tactics.
If you play Goody Two-Shoes, his second-in-command doesn't do so well. So not every choice has wide-reaching consequences, but they are acknowledged in some way or another. Helping the consort, for example, will be mentioned at the start of Mass Effect 2 when you're in the Omega markets.
The Asari Shaira, more commonly known as the consort.
So it pays to sometimes chill and listen instead of marching on forwards. Speaking of Mass Effect 2, did you know that who you bring with you changes who reacts and when? It's obvious that banter is different based on who you take with you on missions, but some squad mates will utterly overpower the other's ability to talk and react. For example, I almost never had Jack with me without having someone like Garrus on the squad because I want someone to take down shields. As it turns out, Garrus overpowers her responses, especially on mainline missions. The order in which you place the squad mates on your team doesn't matter, their personality does. It's hard to explain without an example. Here's the start of Horizon with Jack and Garrus. The first prompt is about the Seeker Swarm, and Garrus replies to this.
In theory, that sounds promising.
The next is about comms interference.
The collectors are disrupting communications.
Garrus again. Next is about the husks. Garrus makes the first comment, to which Jack replies.
I thought the Geth got that technology from Sovereign.
Shit. So the elusive man was right. The collectors answer to the Reapers.
Now, if we swap the order I picked them, the comments will remain the same. However, if I swap out Garrus for Grunt, things change. The Seeker Swarm response is now Grunt.
In theory.
However, Jack takes over the reply for the comms interference.
The collectors must be blocking us.
And Jack comments first on the husks.
Didn't that Geth stuff come from Sovereign?
Then your elusive man was right. Collectors must work for the Reapers.
With Grunt replying after. My initial suspicion was that squad mates fall into a priority hierarchy. So let's say Garrus is a priority above Jack. Garrus would then fall into a squad mate 1 role, where he takes first crack at conversational replies and comments. So if there was a squad mate 1 and squad mate 2 role, then why are the order of conversations different with Grunt and Jack? If Jack was the priority, aka squad mate 1, then Grunt wouldn't have responded to the Seeker Swarm comment first, as Jack didn't while she was with Garrus. So when Jack and Garrus were together, the replying order was Garrus, 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 then Jack. But Jack with Grunt went like this. Grunt, Jack, Jack, Grunt. You see what I'm getting at? It turns out that particular replies and interactions have different priority based on each squad mate, and some squad mates have overwhelming priority, Garrus being one of them. Many of you, myself included, love the guy, so we include him a lot. This also means that other squad mates never get the chance to shine. Jack is one of them, with a very low priority on average. So to hear what she has to say, you have to combine her with another low priority squad mate like Samara, even though they don't mesh great together. Squad mate priority doesn't seem to be based on power, rather how opinionated they would be at a given time. It's actually quite elegant.
You're in an enemy uniform and I'm gonna kill you.
It also means that it's impossible for me to give you a perfect combination of squad mates in order to have your favorite ones talk more often. Just experiment with different combinations from time to time. This is one such example of dialogue I never saw from Jack before.
Elnora was the killer. I knew I smelled murder on that bitch.
Also, be sure to talk to squad mates before their loyalty missions, as they usually have extra conversations. Jack shares more about her past and her time with Cerberus. Tali discusses the Geth War and her distrust of Edie. Thane opens up about his meditation practices and Sun before his loyalty mission. Legion has extra dialogue about the Reapers if you delay his loyalty mission, which no one really wants to do. This tip I can't believe I have to point out, but I was surprised to find that many don't realize this. After each mission in all games, check in on Joker. He will comment on what's happening and give his thoughts. In Mass Effect 2, he's usually engaged in an argument with the AI, and in 3, they knock it up a notch and it gets quite spicy. You even get some war assets for listening all the way through. To expand on that, in Mass Effect 3, you need to take the extra effort to stop and listen to conversations between NPCs every single time you hear one, especially on the Citadel or on the Normandy, where the conversation lines actually lead to tangible rewards, like new missions or straight up war asset points. You can get the perfect ending where you otherwise couldn't just by listening out. With well-known NPCs, you'll have to listen to a series of conversations over different visits. Listening to Dr. Chokwas and Chloe in the medbay adds 5 war asset points each. Listening to Joker and Edie's relationship progress adds 10 points. Listening to Engineer Donnelly and Daniels adds 10 war assets, and 5 more if you let Donnelly flirt with Daniels. Conversations in the mess hall eventually lead you to get 10. Listening to refugees on the docks adds 10 points. In the commons, listening to the Merc leaders discuss their preparations after you get them under Aria adds 15 war assets. After Thessia, listening to Asari diplomats at the Citadel embassies gets you 5. When the Hanar diplomat's side mission is complete, listen at the embassies for an extra 5. After the Citadel DLC, Traynor and Brooks give 5 points in the war room. Hell, even Tali and Garrus having conversations on the Normandy and Citadel eventually grants 5, so pay attention. Like Mass Effect 2, 3 has a priority system with who talks and when, though since there are fewer squad mates, everyone seems to get a fair shake. Though these are my recommendations for combinations. Tali and Garrus have great banter during Rannoch missions. Javik and Liara have some of the best conversations, especially regarding Prothean history. Edie and James have hilarious reactions to certain events if you bring them together, especially since James starts trying to flirt with Edie. Javik and Tali on Rannoch reveals his position on the Quarians, which isn't mentioned elsewhere. In Mass Effect 3, story progresses very fast, so like Mass Effect 1, you need to make sure you explore after and before each priority mission. An example is after Rannoch. There'll be a ton of hidden dialogue between NPCs about the Geth-Quarian War, but these will all disappear if you start another priority mission. Even if 2 missions are on the same planet, do the side one first for the bonus, then talk to everyone before moving on. You can and will see dialogue that you'll thank me for after. In regards to the Citadel DLC, try to do it as soon as you get access to squad mates old and new. Yes, that means rescuing Jack, meeting up with Miranda, etc. There's a lot of interactions that unlock after the DLC. Also, different squad mates have different reactions to your clone. If you bring Javik, Edie and Tali, you'll get hilarious commentary on Shepard's apartment and a special scene with Glyph, so save before you meet him and try different squad mates. Javik also talks to Liara near the war room about Prothean culture. James and Cortez discuss their time at the Alliance in the shuttle bay, and Garrus sometimes chats with Joker near the cockpit. And that's everything. Know some hints I didn't mention? Let me know below and I'll heart the ones people should see. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, ciao friends.